we'll obviously get to all of that coming up throughout the show. Elliot Shore-Parks is going to join us at 3 o'clock live from the owners' meetings because Howie Roseman spoke earlier today, and he'll have what he said coming up with us at 3 o'clock. But speaking of the Eagles, when the offseason kicked off and it was like this flurry of moves and Saquon's an Eagle, like there was a lot of excitement. Mm-hmm. But now I sit here, I don't know, about 2 weeks later from that first flurry of moves, and I'm disappointed in this Eagles offseason. Like I don't know what the plan is on the defensive side of the ball. Sure, is the offense going to be great? It should be. And if it's not, we have some serious concerns, barring any health reasons, as to what could happen on the offense. But I don't know what the plan here is on defense, and I hope that it's not putting all your emphasis on the draft. And yes, I understand that you have to draft players, and they're going to take someone at 22, and I get it, but it feels to me like they're banking on the draft as something that they're going to use to fill some of the holes in this roster. And we talk all the time, Mike, about Howie Roseman and playing to his strengths, and his strength is wheeling and dealing. Mm-hmm. Well, there's players going elsewhere. They are not a draft and develop organization. And, like L'Jarius Sneed goes for a third-round pick over this weekend. Mm-hmm. With all the cap space I've been told about, feels like something the Eagles should have been on.
I certainly would have loved for them to be in on it. I don't know what his price tag is going to be. We'll see what happens with Tennessee as they'll get something worked out, I'm imagining, with them. We'll see if that's a price tag the Eagles were willing to pay. And the thing with the defense, right, I'm kind of with you because I still believe, unlike my former teammate that was on before us,
yes,
who seems to think that defense is a luxury to have.
Yeah.
Go ask the Kansas City Chiefs how much of a luxury it was to have that defense last year.
How about we go ask the Final Four teams? The Niners have a good defense.
Yes.
Ravens are a defensive org.
I say that to say because the Chiefs, and rightfully so, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid get a lot of the credit and all of that. Mm-hmm. But if you watched that Kansas City Chiefs team last year, you know damn well the defense was the strength of that team.
100%.
At worst, it was 50-50 defense and Patrick Mahomes. Like, that defense was just that good, giving up points. I think it's the lowest amount of points that Kansas City has averaged offensively, I believe, under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid last year.
Oh, yeah.
And they were still able to win primarily because of that defense. What they did to Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, what they did to Tua in that offense against Miami, and then what they went on to be able to do in Buffalo against Josh Allen. And
all on the road, offense,
by the way. All of it on the road. What a Miami game.
Not the Miami game, but
the other games on the road for sure, including that AFC Championship game. That defense mattered, man. So I'm not one to brush the defense to the side and say, I know it's an offensive league and what can the defense do? Well, guess what? The defenses have caught up with the offense. And that's why they're trying to come up with other things that allow offenses to continue to score. We'll get into that a little bit later because I happen to be okay with the rule that was passed today, even though everybody else is outraged by it.
A lot of tweets.
Yeah, a lot of tweets.
There's a lot of tweets.
And I'm a defensive guy. I'm okay with it. But I say this to say I'm mostly satisfied with what the Eagles have done. Can they still do things to improve on that side of the ball? Yes, I'm still going to give Howie the room to do that. I would say right now it's still unfinished. Right? It's still incomplete. They still got to add guys.
It's incomplete, but it is pretty complete. I mean, it's not a done finished product. I know the Justin Simmons thing is out there.
Still out there.
He could be, but again, we were sold, and Elliot talks a lot. They have cap space to do everything.
Sure.
Then why is Justin Simmons not here? Why is Hassan Reddick getting out of town? Why can't they trade a third for L'Jarius Sneed and then extend him? Why is Bradbury coming back? If you're so worried, might be coming back with the price tag of $9 million. Like, if you have so much cap space, they have holes on defense that could be filled. And it seems like they have like $31 million left, and I don't know what they're waiting for.
I would imagine that maybe they want. Listen, maybe they may have been okay with Hassan playing on the final year of his deal. He's the one who doesn't seem to be okay with that.
Yes.
So they calculated having Hassan Reddick here for that price tag on the final year of his deal. He's not happy, so maybe they still have to move on from him until he's gone. I'm still hoping that he comes back, but it certainly feels like he's on his way out. I hope they can get something done. As far as Justin Simmons, he hasn't signed with anybody. So until I see him sign with somebody and I say, okay, the Eagles could have done that, or why didn't they do that, it's hard for me to judge the whole Justin Simmons thing. And I say all of this to say, when they went on their 2 Super Bowl runs, they made significant moves, meaning at the time they didn't seem like significant moves, but they became significant pieces to the puzzle and what helped them get to the Super Bowl. We know about the Chris Long, Patrick Robinson, LeGarrette Blount. They traded for didn't they trade for a corner that year? Did they trade for
traded Jordan Matthews for Darby.
Yeah, they traded for Darby that year in training camp. So that added to the 2017 team. We know how all 4 of those players were key cogs in that Super Bowl championship run. And then they added CJ They added James Bradbury right before training camp. Those guys were key cogs in that Super Bowl run a year or so ago. So I'm going to give Howie the benefit of the doubt that he still has plenty of time. And Justin Simmons hasn't signed with anybody. There's a couple other guys out there who could be added if they so desire. If they so desire. Hell, DeAndre Swift wasn't added to day 2 of the draft a year ago. When we were yelling about Bijan and everything else, we were like, who the hell's going to be the running back?
So you're telling me to take a deep breath?
Of course I'm telling you to take a deep breath because in Howie we trust.
215-592-9494. Are you happy with this Eagles offseason? I'm starting to get disappointed, and we'll go to
I'm content right now.
We'll go to the
happy is a strong word.
Okay, but you're not disappointed in the Eagles offseason.
I'm nowhere near disappointed.
We'll go to the phones here in 1 second, but I've been thinking more about Saquon, too.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm excited about
he makes me happy.
He does make me happy, and every time I think about what this offense could look like, I get excited.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we got into this a little bit last week. You want to talk about the defense being a luxury? Spending $12 million on a running back is a luxury. And I hope that it's not costing them some defensive players. Like, I hope that because you could find a different running back if you wanted to.
Not as good.
Not as good. Totally not as good. Mm-hmm. But, to do the whole running back argument.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Miles Sanders at 1,300 yards behind that line.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift at 1,000 yards behind that line.
Yeah.
So, while Saquon, I think, is great, is he making up for a defense that might not be that good? I'm not there. So I hope that Saquon's not taking, the resources away from the defense. And if they're banking on the draft and they're trying to do the Chiefs model, like from a couple years ago where they just went young on defense. It feels like, again, that a little bit of an overcorrection.
Well, listen, they brought in a 26-year-old Bryce Huff.
Yes.
They brought back a 26-year-old CJ and they brought in a 26-year-old Devin White.
Yes. They're going young.
I mean,
Josh Sweat's 26.
Yeah. Well, he's only on a 1-year deal, so he restructured his deal to be back. So I think if they wanted Josh Sweat, he would have got a new deal. I don't think he's getting a new deal. I can't, as much as I want Justin Simmons and as much as I want to keep Hassan Reddick, I can't necessarily be too upset at what they've done defensively so far. I certainly think they still have some work to do. I still think we need a corner to replace Bradbury out there. And even if he's back, I still think they need a young corner that's going to step in. I mean, a young corner with a high ceiling, like the Keely Ringos, the Josh Jobs, and all those young guys. Those are role players as far as I'm concerned. They haven't proven to me that they're starters that I'm willing to line up against CeeDee Lamb every week.
No.
Or whomever as a star wide receiver in this league. They still have to go out and get that caliber of corner or two.
Yeah.
And I know we have Isaiah Rodgers.
So I know. People are
Forget
dialing
about
in.
Isaiah. I forgot about Isaiah.
Don't have
love the name. Love the name.